Hey guys, I'm Gage1207. I've been working on something interesting. That is stop motion animation tests. I've done these before, but with my new logic, I found a way that I might be able to use these in future animations. This animation, by the way, is just an animation tweaker. These two Sackbots, which use the same logic, use a randomizer that pulses to a counter so that it freezes in between the frames of this animation tweaker. The on time for this is set to 0.0 so that it pulses instantly. Not as much as this, for example, but like this for the stop motion. If you want to make the movement slower, that is seen here. And that is from setting the on time to 0.1 instead of 0.0. 0.1 should be used for slower animations, as 0.0 should be used for faster ones. Really fast animations should basically not use this logic, and you should basically just go for your normal animation style. Now as for the animation tweaker, well, let me go with the counter first. This counter is basically how you can change the speed of your animation, but still having the freezes in between the frames. Changing the speed of this animation tweaker won't do much at all, unless you put it into the negatives, which reverses the animation. If you want to make sure that this works out, the input for the animation tweaker should be set to positional. The blending doesn't really matter all that much. And yes, this does work with rotations. So I think that's that. A couple of extra steps if you want to make sure that these don't look off in your film, or whatever it is you're making, just animation. Say that your Sackbot has a hairpiece with physics, and that can basically try to smoothen itself and not go along with this type of animation. So if you want to fix that, you can change the size of the Sackbot to an unnoticeable size difference until the funny head size actually changes something with the headpiece that you're using for that. So for example, Vault's tongue uses physics. So if I want to disable them so it can match up with the animations, then I set the funny head size to yes. And another thing, for cameras, you should make sure that focus on players is at 100%. It's not showing here for some reason, but that should usually be in the global stuff. I can't remember whether or not focus on players is on cameras, but yes, set this to 100%, because the motion blur can sometimes get in the way of these types of animations. Now, if you're wondering what this is, which is weird, it's basically my solution for movement with this kind of animation. Because as opposed to using a normal mover or follower to make sure they move, I use this method so that it blends in with the frames of the animation. What you're seeing here is basically the same setup as this, but this counter instead resets itself and cycles the selector, which goes along these animation tweakers, which are skipping to 10s basically. And that's just a sample. But some of these ports, which are 3, 4, 5, and 6, they hook up to the other selectors ports, which are 1, 2, 3, and 4. I think you can cycle them if you want, but yeah, this is not cycle. Anywho, these inputs, or outputs, I mean, hook up to these followers. And these followers hook up to each of their own tags. And I call these frames. So, yeah. This is tag 1, 2, 3, and 4. I think you get the idea. this NOT gate, you don't necessarily need to use it, but if you want to preview how the animation looks, then that can be useful. And this is looping the way it does because I did not finish animation, as this is only a test. The solution to the looping, though, would be if you were to use an emitter to emit the Sackbot, or put the camera to a different scene so that nobody sees this looping. I think that might be all I have to explain so far. So if there are any questions that you want to ask me, just reply. Share this out to your friends, because I kind of want to see other people try this method as well. And I want to try this for any future animations I make, if I get to those, because I'm not the very best with getting my own motivation. So, yes, I will catch you guys later. This is Gage1207, signing out.